All right, here we are, people, live and in the house, the Matt and Todd Show. Show number 193, guys. We're glad that you come by to stop out here and hang with us. From the smoggy skies of New York to the drama was on. That's the news all over YouTube land. So thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us. Guys, do the easy thing. Just go ahead and do it right now. Hit the subscribe button. Help us out. Help us grow our channel. We cover college football every week. We're on live Sundays at 6 o'clock. And today, people, hello to all our crowd, Jeff Anderson, everybody for coming here and hanging out. We appreciate y'all for coming by. Today, we're going to be talking about some, is Mike Vick a Hall of Fame guy? You know, we'll consider that. We'll talk about that a little bit.
Be a good combo.
And, of course,
we're talking about college Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, of course, Saban and some people, Tommy Tuberville's involved in this, and about NIL deals and some regulations. We've read up on it. Dane's read a little bit on it. We're going to kick that around. All the states have different laws, so
yeah, I want to hear about.
Yeah, I want to know whatever they got going on.
It's just like different and different. I think it ought to be the same everywhere.
That's what he's trying to get done. And I have a top 20 list, a run through of some of the top transfer portal guys and kind of where they're at, since everything's the smoke's clearing, everything's settling down right now. So college football's coming. And what do you got for me?
I've got the top incoming freshmen, some that I think will impact immediately or have a chance to.
Yeah.
And also we're going to talk about the NBA. We know how that's going. Game 5 tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
And not to change the subject, but have you seen a haze around here? Somebody said that this haze from Canada was going to come make its way here.
We'll talk about it. Come on back and hang out with us. We'll talk about the haze.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Welcome back in here and hanging out with us live. Show number 193. What about it?
7 away from the big 2.
193.
200.
Let's get on in there. 193. Let's change the colors up here a little bit. What's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody's having a great day. It's been a busy day for me, trying to get some things done, get stuff moved around, and getting ready for the week tomorrow. Got some few things going on. Hey, if you're curious about some Bible study stuff over on my page, on my personal YouTube page, go there and check some of that out. If you want to look into that stuff, got movie reviews, stuff like that. As we was talking about during the intro there, some smoke and hazy skies. Yeah. New York, Detroit, their pollution rating is actually one of the worst in the world right now.
Right.
Very, very bad.
I saw some pictures. Dusty Kelly, you remember Dusty Kelly?
Yep.
Aaron Kelly's brother. He lives up there, and he posted a picture, and it just looked awful. I mean, it's just like a big fog over the city. But I'd heard rumors that some of that could make its way here, and we could maybe see a haze. Obviously, it's just not going to get. I hope it doesn't get like it is in New York.
No, it can't.
I wouldn't see how that would be possible.
No, I've seen supposedly Thursday or Friday or something around here. There was some of that, a little bit of. I didn't see it personally myself, but
I'd heard some rumors of it. I personally haven't seen anything either.
So what's the deal with this NIL and Tubs and all them?
Yeah, what is going on with that?
Yeah, what do you kind of think about that?
Well, I think that
from what you've read on it,
I think it should be the same across the board. NCAA.
Yeah, that's kind of what they're shooting for. They're trying to get
not state from state.
But see, state laws differ by NIL deals and who can pay how much and who can pay them and who can do what. And it's just been.
I just think the NCAA ought to take this over and make it
a blanket
across the board.
Yeah.
Okay, you can make this much. This school has this much in NIL money. Can you give them all the same amount?
No, because
some.
Yeah,
right, some
Alabama's not going to be the same as New Mexico State.
Right. Well, I just meant maybe the Power Five.
Yeah.
I think they should go that route. And as that Tuberville,
there's got to be something they can do.
Now Saban's probably, and I'm not saying this because he's, top of his game, but he's probably the smartest voice. I think one of the smarter voices in college football. He agrees with what we're saying.
Yeah. There has to be boundaries, and he said that back in SEC Media Day when they did when Pate had him on 24/7 Sports on Late Kick. Pate sat down with him and talked to him, and they talked about there has to be. It just can't be the Wild West.
No, I agree with that.
And of all people,
it's got to be regulated.
To say it, it seems like he would be the one not saying it. Does that make sense?
Right.
Why was the cream of the crop, the guy that has taken the best advantages of any situations, won 6 national championships? Why would he be the one complaining about it?
Well, if you've got guys, you can get a lot of guys away from Alabama or wherever, Auburn, wherever, with these deals. Hey, come over here and we'll give you $600,000 in NIL deals.
There were some rumblings,
and you take off.
There's some rumblings from some Big Ten people, and Big 12, whatever, to say, just some fans, not in general. Jeff's a fan of the show, not him, and it's just people complaining, well, the SEC's scared, or Nick Saban is scared. Well, let's look at it this way, guys. Since NIL has been implicated, as of last year, NIL deals had been going through. Who had the number 1 recruiting class?
Bama.
Okay. And probably not just the number 1 class. By numbers, their score was like a super high score. It was even higher than the A&M class of the other prior years.
Right.
So at some of this pinnacle parts of this NIL stuff, because it's going to slow down. Personally, I think it's all just going to kind of slow down by itself.
I hope so.
Bama has the number 1 recruiting class, so that means he's not scared of the NIL. Obviously, it's not really mattered to Alabama at all because they just had the best class in the history of college football.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so that don't matter. Now, the 8-game, 9-game schedule, we talked about it last week. As a matter of fact, the 8-game schedule people dominate over the 9 conference game schedule people.
But I'm sure people for the 9-game would be like, well, that's because they've had less hard games, which 1 game.
But the thing is, like with some of them, like Big Ten, some of their scheduling, I'm just using them for example, and it's the others too. The point of the 8 conference game schedule, which Bama dominated by playing all conference games and winning national championships, so
went 12-0.
So he's not scared of that. That's out the window. Okay, so that's false. That's just people blowing hot smoke. That the 8-game conference was supposed to be added that you were to have 8 conference games and then play 2 Power 5 opponents.
Right, and then you can play 2 gimme games.
So
homecoming type games.
Yes, you would have a game where you can, add in those New Mexico states.
Right. And
play a smaller school.
And it didn't say you had to play 2 powerhouse big Power 5s, just 2 Power 5s.
Yes, and like Georgia opening with Oregon or Bama's played Texas the last 2 years.
Right.
Those are big games.
Very big, especially with your SEC schedule. I don't see the big deal between the 8 and 9 game. What do you prefer? I prefer I was leaning towards the 9 game, but since that with the 8 game with 2 Power 5 opponents, I kind of like that.
I do too. Well, here's why. I like that because of this. And Jeff, you may agree with this. I like it because what it does, it gives us an idea of across the board type things of a situation of, gosh, computer, slow down. It gives us a situation of,
I like those.
We can judge it.
Yes.
Alabama plays.
We can quit hearing all the talk. Well, Big Ten stinks. Well, we'll find out if we go to the 8 game because probably Illinois may play Ole Miss during the year, or Alabama may play Michigan State during the year.
Yeah, well, that's why I like it because it shows. Look, all this is about is to have a strength of schedule.
Right. And you're going to have a better strength of schedule with an 8 game and 2.
Didn't it help Georgia when they played Oregon?
Well, yes, of course.
Because Oregon went on and won a lot of football games. Now, Bama and Texas didn't have such a great year, so it didn't look quite as well.
That didn't help them.
No. A&M's going to play Miami this year, second week. Bama's playing Texas. LSU and Florida State are going to play.
That's big.
Yeah, who's, we could say, TriStar, what's up, my man?
That's a big early season, time early season game.
So New Mexico State is winning the national championship. He's right. He's a buddy of mine from Twitter. He puts these Twitter
Don't want
spaces
to bet
out.
on that.
He does a lot of Twitter space stuff, and we talk a lot of college
football. I wonder what the payout would be to put $20 on that with a betting company. If they won, you win $1 million.
Well, TriStar makes the point that to keeping the rival games, I completely agree. That's the most important thing in college football is the rival games.
And you only do that with a 9.
Yeah,
right.
But here's the thing: we've been doing it with 8. Why?
I don't know. I'm going to agree with Matt here. Why can't you do it with 8?
Yeah. So let's just dump the peon games. Let's dump the Auburn plays Utah State. Let's dump that and make sure that Georgia and Auburn play. That's a rival.
Yeah, Alabama.
The Iron Bowl is going to happen.
Auburn got to happen.
Those games, like, let's don't even have a schedule. Just mark the day, November 25th. It's the Iron Bowl. That game is always going to happen. And I want to see Alabama and Tennessee to continue to have their rival.
I would too.
So Bama,
Georgia,
Tennessee,
and Florida.
Georgia will always play Florida. Those games that's what.
And Auburn always play Georgia.
Well, see, that's the South.
All the thing. So you got Georgia's got 3 rival games.
So Auburn has to play and look at their
Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, and Vanderbilt. That's their 3 lock-ins.
Let me ask you this, and you can disagree. Could you designate certain games automatic rivalries that can't be touched?
That's what I want. I would like to see that.
Okay, so that would be Alabama, Auburn.
Yeah.
Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Vandy. I mean, because they're in the same state. Oklahoma State, Michigan State. I don't know, but you got teams out here that's got 4 rival games a year.
But now you can't. But you don't want to lose, like, for example, Texas, Oklahoma, the Red River shootout.
You got to have that probably.
And LSU.
But you're going to lose it.
Is it?
Well, you won't have to lose it. LSU and Arkansas is huge.
Yeah. Who plays the boot game?
That's LSU and Arkansas.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got the Egg Bowl. I think that ought to be good.
See, that game's that's the Iron Bowl.
But should you limit it to each team just have 1 rival game?
Tennessee and Kentucky. That's a border war. I mean, and now we're right back to.
But if you do that, that's 3 rivals for Tennessee now. That's Alabama, Kentucky, and Vanderbilt. So you're saying we got to play them every year.
But the Tennessee Vanderbilt, that's not really a rival.
I know, but how you just been stoned the team? But you just an hour and a half.
You just they need to move and play. They need to go to a different division.
They could possibly. I've always said Vanderbilt for football should be in a different conference. Yeah, just for fairness. Yeah, because they don't recruit. They can't recruit like Alabama.
Well, they don't. The Tennessee kills it over there. Heupel's doing a good job. And TriStar, he's a big Tennessee fan, and that's his state. That's who he enjoys keeping up with.
But could you designate a certain amount of games in each conference, and this is your rival game, and that's it, and the others are up for grabs?
Tennessee's been owning Vanderbilt since Prohibition.
Yeah, but I mean, golly, has Vanderbilt ever even had close to the same type of players Tennessee has?
No. I mean, it's just not going to. Here's the thing. We can play 8 games. Well, can we play 9, keep the rivalries, and have 1 at least out of conference?
The only thing, if you do the 9.
Guys, I hope they're tuning in right now because we're fixing to work this out.
Yeah, it's going down right here.
Play 9.
This is what we're going
and play 1 out of
9 and then 2 gimmies.
And play 1 Power 5 team like Alabama and let me go with Alabama's playing. They're on the schedule. Wisconsin. Alabama's got Wisconsin on schedule. I think next year they're going to do a home and away like Auburn did Penn State. That's a good out of conference.
I like the 9-1.
Ohio State
8-2 may be too much.
See, we're fixing to look at Ohio State and all that. Who they're fixing to have home and away with UCLA and USC.
So now you've changed my mind again. If you got 8, you can't get the rivalry games in. Not all of them.
No, you can't.
There's some that's not going away. Alabama, Auburn's not going away. Georgia, Florida's not going away. Tennessee and Kentucky's probably not going away. But there's other rival games, and you cannot do that in the 8 games.
Well, and here's the thing. Well, and here's why all this is coming up. We know why, guys. It's because we're doing East and West is going away.
Yes.
Big Ten, Jeff, ain't they already doing it?
Yeah. Now, when they do come up, now is Oklahoma and Texas going to be in the West, or will that be done by then? Top two teams play.
They're playing a 9-game schedule with alternating power schools and alternating California schools. Jeff says that's balanced. Yeah, that adding UCLA and USC. But here's the thing: in conference strengthening, is that the
it makes your conference pretty strong.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bama run through, like I said earlier, they played only conference games, won all of them.
I don't think anybody should have to do that again. I mean, I understand why they did it that year, but that was after the COVID, right?
Yeah,
that was COVID year.
Yes. So here's the thing, then, and we'll move on to some stuff.
I like 9-1. I like 9-1.
Let's do 9-1.
You sold me.
Let's do that. I mean,
you keep your rivalry games. Everybody's happy. I don't think you got to do 9 and none.
No.
9 conference games, 3 gimmies.
No,
3
terrible.
Clark College truck driving school,
No.
Gadsden State. No.
That's not good for fans.
No.
Nobody. That's what Saban. What got this started? The whole yammer about this whole thing was Saban was griping because people's leaving the games because they're up 50-0 against Arkansas or something one year. Well, they're playing conference games and they're beating the crap out of people.
Right.
People's leaving the game.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you keep kids? How do you keep fans in the stands? A good game.
Right.
And this model is trying to be based on that pro model because during midseason, the pros, Goodell would love to see everybody be 6-6 at midseason. You know why? Because everybody's going to come to the NFL games to see who makes playoffs.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Competition.
Teams with 9-7 records win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's
it's just even, and we'll talk about that more with Miami later.
Yeah, that's
Miami Heat.
That's the mindset to make better games. So us fans, and we're analysts too, but and we're going to talk about it either way.
Well, I think you sold me. I like the 9-1 model, and you can keep your rivalries, all your rivalries, for the most part.
I think,
and you get all that in, everybody's happy.
Are they done with them this year, Jeff? Are y'all going to play East and West, or is it?
I think they've got one more.
They're going to do it like us. They're going to play this year in it because when UCLA and USC comes, then which I have that.
You don't have to change then.
There's a flex schedule, which Jeff knows about.
Yeah, you sent me that schedule.
Well, there's a different one that shows for that year and next year. They've already pinned out 2 years, and it's called a flex schedule. And Jeff had mentioned something about it earlier. It's a rotating.
I'd hate to be in charge of that schedule.
It's a rotating top Power 5 out of conference games. So Ohio State, and we're using them for example because Jeff, he's an Ohio State fan. Like they'll get out of their conference and go play. Who could they put?
Ohio State to play. Ole Miss,
Clemson,
Ole Miss, North Carolina. It don't have to be a. There's not even say it don't have to be a top 10 match.
But if you do that early, here's the good part of that. Mm-hmm. It's a great opening week, and it lays out things for us as analysts to look at it and go, Clemson, Ohio State, whoever wins that game, we can go ahead and start looking and seeing, well, if they beat, Ohio State beats Clemson, but it's a close game, well, Clemson may be able to play closer. Florida State may not be able to.
Right.
So it gives us analysts things to talk about. So I'm saying if you can take these games early, because when Bama opens with Ball State and Georgia's entire schedule is Ball State, Murray State, it's hard for people to judge how good Georgia's going to be because they don't play nobody.
They don't have a tough one this coming year either.
No. Have you seen it? Yeah,
I've looked at it before. Well, now, it's not real strong.
No, not at all. They're going to have the easiest schedule in the country. It wasn't real
strong last year. Now, I thought the year before when they won it was pretty tough.
But it's hard for Kirby to – how do you keep them fired up to play? Like if Thompson's just run up here playing, Cedar Bluff and Gainesville and Thompson.
Yeah.
How are they fired up?
Tough games, 5.
Yeah, and then
which
you're like,
they're going to hammer.
But they're like, holy crap, we got to get fired up to play Auburn now.
Yeah.
They're high school.
Right.
But we just played 3 1A teams.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I like 9-game.
I like 9-1.
Ohio State has Georgia scheduled. Okay, yeah. So Bama's playing Wisconsin next year.
Yeah, I like that matchup.
They too.
I'll tell you one thing, though. You were talking about playing everybody tough early. We're going to know, and we give them props on this show. Florida State, we're going to know a lot about Florida State after 4 weeks. They play Clemson and LSU in the first 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So they're pretty much going to be – we're going to know how strong they are right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those kind of games help. So
we won't play both of them that early, though.
Here's the thing, Dane. We're going to 9 next year. Whether no matter what me, you, Jeff, or TriStar says, it's going to 9.
No, there's not enough 8 advocates.
No, and nobody, and people's got to like Booger Picker or Uncle Lou. He's got to stop doing. He's got to stop saying. He's just doing it to create Bama fans to get on his page and be aggravated.
Said they're scared.
Yeah.
The SEC's scared as a whole.
No, well, he's a Georgia fanatic.
Yeah, but Josh Payton said a lot of people were saying that the SEC was scared to play a 9 game.
Well, he don't like Saban, which Saban taught his coach. He partly had a coach. I mean, he was involved in training Kirby. And it's just hard to admit that the overall series between Georgia and Alabama is not even close. Georgia has been hammered by Alabama so many times. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not getting into that. What I'm saying, Bama has run the league, and they've won it with all conference games. They've won titles with NIL deals. They have the best recruiting class with NIL is the biggest deal right now. So people have got to stop saying the SEC scared. Guys, okay, if they have the weakest schedule in the world, but when it's time to put up or shut up at the title game, who's winning? LSU, Georgia, Bama, Florida State throwed in a year, Ohio State when Buckshot Jones and them, Zeke and them won.
That's only 2 separate: Clemson, Florida State, and Ohio State.
And the year that Ohio State won it, they were 8 conference game schedule. They were not 9.
They were just 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to win a title,
8's usually winning. That's what Pate was saying.
And 9 does equal more money, and that is why people's got to stop picking their nose, Uncle Lou, and saying, "Well, he didn't want to play the extra game because Saban's, he don't want Alabama to have to play that. He's beat everybody. He's always beat everybody. It's about money." Sankey crapped the bed. He wanted to be the first one out to sign the big deal for this big ESPN deal, and Sankey did 2020. So when Sankey goes out and signs this, he was the first one out. Big Ten commission, all them was, oh my God, what are those SEC doing? What are they doing down there? Well, he's already done a deal. Well, he signed for 8 conference games for years. Well, what is he supposed to do? We're going to change the 9 conference games while we're in contract for 8, and I'm going to give ESPN a Alabama. I'm going to give them a Tennessee, Missouri, or Georgia, and Ole Miss. We're going to give them Georgia, Ole Miss for free. We're not going to make any extra money because of that game. Well, how smart is that?
Right.
I'm not doing that. And they're like, well, that's just, you ought to put it in there. Well, they could have cut a deal. Yes, they could. I'm not Sankey. I would have said, let's play the 9 this year. And they go, hold on, but what about that 9th game? Who are we going to sell it to? Hey, Fox, what's up? Greg Sankey, SEC. How about $10 million and y'all cover these? Each conference, they're going to add another game. And give us $20 million to do that for a game. Fox is going to go, yes, because they're going to make $100 million. You know what? Because they can advertise. They can carry. So you flip to Fox to watch one game.
Right.
I would have done that. Like Notre Dame's been locked in with ABC for 100 years. NBC for, I don't know, forever.
It's mid-2000s or maybe longer.
No, it was back in
90s?
60s, 70s.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's been 40, 50 years. They've been locked in.
I thought it'd been maybe 30.
No, it's been 50 years. So,
yeah, every weekend.
Yeah, every game.
Yeah.
Because they were the brand. There was no ESPN in 1971 when Joe Namath is playing it, or whatever year he was there, 77.
Late 60s, early 70s, maybe late 60s.
So, that's the thing. They didn't add the game because they didn't plan for it. Sankey signed a deal too early, and that's just how it is. But we're going to have 9 next year.
Yes.
And if they do 9-1,
I have no problem with that.
Still play an out of con. I enjoyed the Georgia-Oregon game.
But you're going to take a lot of heat if you play 9 conferences and 3 non-Power 5s. I don't think any Power 5 should be able to play more than 2 non-Power 5s.
But here's the thing about these 3 locked-in games. It's changed none for Alabama. They're still playing Tennessee, LSU, and Auburn.
Who they always play anyway.
They play them anyway. How long have they been playing them?
Oh, gosh.
50, 60 years.
Some
of them 100 years.
Ever since I've been watching. Alabama and Tennessee play every year.
They've been playing since the 60s when Nealon was there because him and Barrett didn't like each other. And the Bama Auburn game. Well, we know, the deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do away with. I mean, you won't see a riot in Alabama do away with that game. No Auburn Alabama game.
That'd be bad news.
I mean, it'd be like the LA riots in '92. It would be bad, wouldn't it? It wouldn't happen.
No. So that's kind of how that's going to work. It's going to be 9 next year, and I don't have a problem with them waiting. Everybody's like, we should do it this year. That's fine. You could have sold it. Call Fox.
Wait till everybody comes in before you change it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You got a new guy like, hey, we've talked about adding on a room to the house here. We got some people coming. Well, I'm going to wait till I'm going to talk to them and see maybe if they want the window on the back side or the left. Since I'm adding on to the house for these people that are coming to move in with me, instead of just building a house saying, there's the room. If you don't like it, too bad.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Let OU and Texas come in so they say, all right, now we're at the table with the big dogs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It does mean more here because they've you don't have to say it. You just look at the record books. Jeff's an Ohio State fan, but he knows who's been winning.
Yes.
And Ohio State has been right in there clicking along and clacking away. And they're going to win one sometime. It's going to happen.
They're not I think, which we pretty much said it. We claimed them champions.
We did.
But now we're kidding a little bit, but I expect them to win.
Good,
I won't be shocked if they win it.
I wouldn't either.
And I'm afraid that, people up in Ohio are expecting it.
Yeah.
I don't think Ryan Kelly has too long to.
Texas legislature had introduced several bills to create the game when A&M left. Yeah. That's the game. That's going to be back in action now. A&M and Texas are going to be in the same conference again, which has been so it's been, I don't know, 45 years when they left the Big Eight. When A&M left.
Let me think here.
No, well, they just came in like 10 years ago. Was it 2003? But they joined the Big Eight in the 60s.
They were in there with Slocum. They joined the Big Eight, yeah. Then they went over to
in the 90s,
Southwest,
mid 2000s.
I won't say early. They hadn't been in there long. Man, I don't know if they were in there
20 years. Were they in there when Bama won it, Big Texas that year?
Yes, I think so because it was just the next year.
Yeah, what's his name?
Manziel.
The guy.
Manziel beat him in.
Who was the coach there
10,
then?
11. Kevin something.
Someone, yeah.
I want to say they came in
05 or 06 or 07.
07. Yeah.
But hey,
and they've been good for the SEC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Them at Missouri, I think Texas A&M's been better.
So we'll see how this NIL regulations deals worked out. Saban then went up there and talked to them. They're looking for government to make some kind of legislative rules.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I'm not crazy about getting the government involved in anything that I do. I wouldn't even want to go pick out the fishing line I used to go catch a turd out of the lake. They're idiots. Why don't I want them involved in it? But
I don't think the government ought to get involved.
Well, that's what they're doing. That's what they went and meet on.
But I do think there ought to be across the board on the NIL deal.
That's what Tubbs doing. That's what Tubble's involved.
Well, I know he's a representative, but
right.
Still.
So they're in Washington up there. They went up there the 7th.
But some of those politicians are like, what? We don't care about this. Do whatever you want.
Well, the NCAA is not going to. They're a joke.
I think they ought to take it over and.
They won't. They can't regulate nothing. They can't
regulate it.
They can't. They don't have the comprehension to do it. They don't have the staff to do it. They don't have the whereabouts or nothing. They can't. If they could, we wouldn't be where we're at now because they would have done something when we begged them. This darn video game, that's what started it.
Yeah.
The kids playing the game, now they're probably going to crush it again because now the kids are saying EA Sports is going to give each kid $500 to put your name, image, likeness. Now you got a bunch of kids coming. That's not enough.
Oh, no. You got
games off.
You got 678 kids wanting $500.
They offered to give them all $500. And some of them said, that's not enough.
Not enough.
We want more. I say if your life is whole surrounding is just being on the video game, you're probably not a real good football player because Caleb Williams is not worried about getting $500 from a stupid game because he makes NIL money because he practices and he's a great player and he won the Heisman so he can go to any local car lot and get an NIL deal.
Right.
He don't care about a $500 for a video game. If that's all you're worried about. You're worried about the wrong thing. He can get your butt up and go run and go be a better player, do something. Stop worrying about that. because I like to play the game.
Yeah.
And EA Sports is just going to finally go out and say, forget it. We just won't ever do it again.
I don't think they ought to put none of that on there anyway.
Just put a blank face looking regular kid with no name, because we're going to change the names on the jerseys anyway. It's what I did when I played the game.
And you'll make up a name it's going to be like, what's that? Key and Peele made up all them names for the All-Star. You remember that? And they were great. Dexter, McCluster, you know. And,
But that's what all this is led from. But the NCAA didn't do nothing about that. They ignored it.
See, I think they ought to do something about all this.
And they won't.
But something has to be done, because you got Kentucky's best basketball player from last year. You know what he asked for the other day? He's gone. He's not going to be there. $8 million from the university.
Well, they can't pay. They can't pay him. It's illegal.
$8 million. Well, from the NIL stuff.
Well, he'll have to find him a sponsor then. Well, tell him to go get him a sponsor. Go down to BMW or
$8 million.
Go to Cadillac dealership.
I'll come back for $8 million. If y'all can get me $8 million in the NIL deal.
See, basketball's hard.
See that,
because you can come in and play a little bit and jump and go to the NBA.
I don't know if that was true, but that is a rumor.
Allegations.
That was up there, yes. If that's what he asked for. Michael
Vick, is he a Hall of Famer? College Football Hall of Fame?
I'm gonna say negative.
I'm a little biased. He's one of my favorite. Just watching him at my age when he come through, he was just very he had a very big impression on me as a young guy. Loved football. Watching him play the game, he was like Tim Tebow and Reggie Bush together. Does that make sense? If y'all are younger and watching, just type in Michael Vick, Virginia Tech, or VTech versus Florida State in what year would that have been?
That was actually, I just started teaching school or working in school, so it would have been 99.
99. Go look that game up. Holy moly. I mean, that
was a good one.
Dude, Bobby Bowden.
50 to 30.
Bobby Bowden, said, well, this guy's great.
They had more yards than Florida State in that ball game. He did have a good ball game. And he had a great freshman year. Didn't have as good a sophomore year. But the only reason I didn't was because he only played 2 years, obviously. It don't have nothing to do with what he got mixed up in.
No, and see, maybe
later.
You think that hurts people because that's supposed to be struck from the record, because he went through the deal with the dog fighting and he did his time. He apologized. He moved on. Well, I've moved on. Animal fighting is different for people around here and sensitive people that are watching, probably maybe from up north or somewhere. They don't see it as we do. We fought chickens. I grew up with chicken fights. So animal fighting was not a big deal for us. And I know you think it's barbaric and it's crazy, and those poor animals, a dog fighting just was not a.
Well, he said it was so normal in his.
That's what I'm saying. It's
his community.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
Which would have been the lower part of Virginia, Newport News, that area. It was just a normal way of life.
That's what I'm saying.
I know I'm not taking up for him, make it right, but you got to put yourself in that mindset.
Yeah, some people say, well, it's inhumane, maybe, and it is to you. But, these people, but either way, he went on and did his time. And
I do think he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame for his running accolades.
Man.
Probably him and Lamar Jackson.
I don't know if he.
Arguably the best two ever.
If I'm going to base this off of reaction and feelings, how a lot of this crowd does these days, people, groups of people react by feelings, how I feel. Yes, I feel like Michael Vick should be in the College Football Hall of Fame. However, I do have some common sense, and I have to weigh in the facts of other young men that are college football guys. No, you can't. The excitability to watch him play was absolutely amazing to watch him play.
But 22 games.
And he's left-handed. He throw the ball, kind of looked funny, and could he sling it or not?
Oh yeah, he was good.
I'm talking flat-footed, 70 yards. Go look at his film, 70 yards.
But
he didn't play a lot. Like Bo Jackson, Hall of Fame college.
He didn't play a lot. But Manziel didn't either. But Manziel had 10,000 yards. Or 12,000 in his career compared to 5,000 for Vick, which it was a different style offense. But I just don't think he personally has the stats. But do I think he was great? Yes.
God.
Now, I will give him a plug for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
We did a most exciting players list. I remember last year about this time. During the summer, we do some lists like we're kind of doing. We're just doing some news, roundtable, discreet conversation. He was my number one most exciting college football player ever. Michael Vick. Are you kidding me? Reggie Bush, Vince Young.
Tim
Tebow.
Thought Vince Young should 110% be in the college
Tim Tebow. Bo Jackson, most exciting college. I'm just naming off guys that I watched in college that just, holy crap, wow. Johnny Manziel. People that I watched play. It'd be another good one.
My boy from Arkansas, McFadden, he was good.
Man, yeah, Peterson, Oklahoma. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, especially when he was a freshman.
Man.
I didn't think he did it. He struggled some later, but he had some injuries. He sure didn't struggle in the pros. He's probably he may be one of the top 5 backs, 10 backs.
And I didn't get to see him at Smith play at Florida, so I don't know. I can't.
He was pretty excited.
I've seen film, but I didn't watch him play.
Well, let me tell this story right quick. Alabama, it's a Saturday morning. I'm at Daddy's. He lives over there close to the bridge then. And Alabama and Florida come on Channel 21.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come on prime time, ABC or nothing. And they were talking about this freshman running back. Emmitt Smith gets to start today. His first start from Escambia, Florida, Pensacola. He had 225 yards.
Yeah,
he absolutely torched Alabama, and I'll never forget it.
He was great.
And he went on and had a fantastic career at Florida.
Yeah.
And obviously had a fantastic
He had
that was his first start ever.
He had a high school record that didn't get broke until Trent Richardson broke it.
What was it, 9,000 yards rushing?
2010 or something, when Trent broke it out of high school. For high school football, he had nearly a 500-yard rushing game.
Oh, yeah. Well, there for a long time, he was the nation's leading rusher, or one of them, for a high school career.
No, we didn't get to see Eric Dickerson play college, or this.
He was at Dickerson, SMU. Yeah, I mean, I heard a lot about him, but like they played Pitt in a bowl game his senior year, and the final score was like 7-3. So like the defenses were fantastic.
No, Jeff, Urban Meyer can't be nothing. He said Urban Meyer. That'd be a good job for him to watch over the NIL. He's joking. Well, he could be the proprietary person over the NIL money. Michael Vick, sorry, buddy. I love you. You're most number one exciting player in the world, but no, I'm sorry, we can't do this. News on Zion Williams. Run through this. I ain't going to spend about 30 seconds on it. It's all over YouTube. All right. He's got some baby mama drama. He give a birth announcement on his Twitter page, and then his estranged lady friend that he's decided to do what men do. He's a grown man, do what he wants to. He hooked up with this lady, and she has an OnlyFans page, and she has adult entertainment business that she is involved with.
That's his business.
And he hooked up with her for a while, and now she's blasting him on Twitter, just constantly. Well, what about me? And well, good luck to you and your new girlfriend having she's just claws out, just digging in him. But he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
But his OnlyFans illegal?
No.
Then I don't think there should be anything.
Not legally, nothing's going to happen. But it's just a big media news about Zion.
Well, it's not good for him because he is taking a ton. I know this don't have nothing to do with basketball.
Well, he don't even play but 88 games.
He's taking a ton of heat for not playing
in years. I didn't say a season. Like in 3 seasons, he's only played 88 games.
Yes, he's missing an average of. I think he's missing an average of.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
50 a year.
Ridiculous.
Hey, Anthony Davis takes a lot of heat for missing games, and he ain't even close to missing what Zion Williams.
He don't want to be there. He's
great. Williams is great.
Oh, God, man. You kidding me? He's a generational talent. I mean, I hate to see it just waste, sitting over there on the bench, just wasting away.
But Stephen A. and them, they're just having this guy. Come on, man. I mean, can we at least get an attempt to play? What's going to happen with Zion Williamson when he's going to lose some of his skill, and then he's going to be 82 games a year. But he ain't going to be as good. He'll get comeback player of the year some year.
We hope it does. I pray for him.
How bad is he hurt? I mean, is it legit? Is any of it legit?
I don't know. Who knows? Because you just don't know. All you can go by is what his doctors say or what he says. Nobody knows.
I think I saw somewhere where he's missing an average of half the season
It's
every
terrible.
year.
It's out. Well, Dean, the darn Oklahoma lady softball.
Did you see that record?
Done it again.
I just want to know one thing. Who beat them this year? They only lost one game.
Yeah, I don't know.
I want to know who beat them. I want to find out who that team is.
Some game they was missing half their players probably.
Probably somebody that didn't make the tournament. That's how it goes.
So they just go in and just sweep Florida State. 2-0. They won both. They won 2 of the 3, and so they're your World Series softball champions again.
Not the first time.
No, and it won't be the last. Colorado, we broke this down last week. Now, breaking news on Wednesday, after we broke it Sunday, that Arizona and Colorado are in definite talks. Remember, I told you last week, I said it's not whispers anymore. There's real talk.
Yeah.
Join the Big 12. I think it's a great idea, and I mentioned Arizona State and Utah could also join. So we'll see if that talk comes around. But right now, Colorado and Arizona there is some official yammers.
Because me and you talked about it, and all that would be left would be Cal, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington State. Because we said some teams that could come in would be, Boise
could come
Fresno.
In. Yeah, San Diego State.
So
Pac-12 is just going to kind of dwindle down to
we think 9.
a non-power.
Would that still be considered Power 5
No.
with Washington State, Oregon State, and all that? Would you still?
No, they're leaving. Oregon State, they'll be gone too for a
Well,
while.
yeah, they would. I would think.
They'll jump out too. They'll go to the Big Ten. And then Florida State and Clemson have been yammers of leaving their conference, come to the SEC. So if we get them two, and the Big Ten gets Oregon and Oregon State, and Bama and SEC gets Florida State and Clemson.
And this may be a dumb question. Can the NCAA say, look, no, nobody else is going anywhere, period?
No, you can't do that because the schools are their own entities.
Okay.
It's
I'm glad you answered that.
Well, they're not making any money at where they're at. Right. See, like the ACC signed this deal a long time ago for TV deals, and people want to see their kid on TV. And when the teams are playing on TV, Clemson says, does Clemson have a good quality program? Dabo does a good job.
Yeah.
They're as good as Ohio State, probably quality program,
I would say.
Recruiting, coaching.
Just close.
Well, Ohio State will make 5 times a game what Clemson makes.
Right.
And Clemson's going, hello.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to play for less. And we just need to not move and just shut our mouth and just know our role. They're going to move. They won't get paid.
So you're telling me if Alabama decides tomorrow they won't go to the Big Ten, they can go?
Yeah. If they got a better money deal, which it wouldn't happen.
Well, I know.
Because they run the league.
Yeah.
They're the king of the castle.
Yeah. Or Georgia. Hey, we're going to Pac-12.
But they're making money. They have no reason to.
Right. I'm just saying. But you're saying that school can do that.
Yeah. Well,
nobody can stop.
Each college is their own entity.
Yeah.
You know, there's a board of presidents and athletic directors, like, the board that's over UCLA and USC, which he's the governor of California, is also on the board at UCLA.
Yeah, he tried to block
Yeah. And they were like, well, you can't.
Do you think personally they should try to do more to block some of this stuff? Are you okay with it?
I don't care. It don't matter to me. It's all good football games.
Yeah. It just seems
it's just different.
Weird.
It is. It's just different. It's going to be that way because everybody's jockeying for money. Yeah. And we know there's no money. Dude, actors, I just seen, talking about leaving California. I ain't going to get on one of those kicks, but like Dean Cain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gone. Moved to Nevada. My property tax, he said, I saved 6 figures
on property
in property tax alone.
What about gas out there? It's ridiculous.
He said, I bought a total different living space. My house, pretty much he's saying, I bought a bigger house and still save money on property tax. It's so terrible. Hollywood is leaving California. Well, I don't know. Well, anyway.
Okay.
I didn't want to get into the history of Hollywood. I like movies, but a quick history lesson. Edison started the film industry in New Jersey. 30s. He put out what they're doing now. All these rules and stipulations of what you have to do to make a movie. Well, Hollywood people now are saying, no, we're not doing that. We can't do that. So you got to have, it's diversity laws. I can get into that. There's 3 different organizations, and you have to make the check marks on all those boxes. You have to have a person of color, minorities, and a person of different gender
Mm-hmm.
to check all these boxes. Well, they're leaving. I can't. I mean, the person with the worst diversity score in the nation is Elon Musk. I think he's got plenty of money.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, long story short, movie Hollywood people, because of the same kind of things, not exactly, but Edison, yes, the inventor Edison,
Mm-hmm.
he made this checklist
Smart dude.
for actors for this Hollywood thing.
Mm.
So they all said, well, how you doing that? So they went to Hollywood.
Right.
The movies have been made out there ever since. Well, now it's falling apart out there, and
Now they're leaving.
Yeah, now they're Georgia, Texas.
Georgia's huge.
Georgia, Texas, and Florida. I think is what I heard. Those are the 3 big states where they can shoot
Where
movies.
they can do that.
They can shoot movies.
Right. I know Georgia a ton because that was one of the big things when Georgia passed that voting law that I still can't figure out what the problem was. Something about you have your license when you go vote.
Yeah, you should. If you're a citizen of the United States.
And we rioted and they threatened to quit film there. That was one of their big things. We're not going to shoot no more films in Georgia, obviously.
Well, then the All-Star selection. We're just not going to play the All-Star game.
Yeah, we just won't.
Well, okay, so you just lost $20 billion. Great job.
So you took
Awesome
it to
job.
Denver,
Awesome job.
where there's no
marketing
minorities.
and making great decisions. But it's again, there's 3 things, and I forgot. It's like NICL and DIA, Diversity Inclusion Corporation, DIC. And you have to make these check marks. So, like Bud Light, for example, to get that score up, which needed to be done so they could play a special game in the stock market to make more money, Bud Light, they had to have a bigger diversity score. So they go there hiring their marketing people, say, how do we get a better diversity score? Their marketing person goes and makes this ad with the can and the person. Well, we'll take this, whatever, the Alphabet Mafia person, put them on this can, and your diversity score will go up. And then you check that other box. Hey, now you qualify to make these special dealings with Illuminati and the stock market. Okay.
Yeah, but you lose half.
You'll lose some of your money now, a little bit, but in the long run, you'll make more money back because you check all these boxes. Because these people sit up there with these big brains, but are stupid, have no sense, think that that'll work. Well, it backfired, and they lost 30% of their company nearly.
Right.
So, with all that being said, Colorado and Arizona are definitely big time talkers and tenders. People are moving away from there.
So Pac-12 is just fixing to be nothing.
No, well, it'll be a bunch of small schools.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of small
we
schools.
could do that one show, figure out which schools it will be. And I agree with you. Fresno, Boise, San Diego State.
Yeah. Smaller in-state, like if Alabama and Auburn left, you'd bring in UAB and Jacksonville State.
Right. Cal State Bakersfield, Cal State Davis.
Yeah. It'd be just a bunch
Fullerton,
of Division 1 or 2 schools,
Yeah.
small schools. Then they could have a team. They're not going to be Power 5. They could have their own bowl games. That's what really needs to happen. They need to go play in their own sandbox, break away, and unionize. They wanted to do this now. They want a union.
There could be you could be Division 1, but you're Division 1A.
Yes, they want to. They talked about breaking away from the country. What was it, about 5 years ago? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's in on some of that stuff. He's only been to Al Pacino and all those insane,
Really?
super rich people.
Predator last night for a minute.
So they could just break off and go because obviously what's happening. Because hey, look, your money cow just left the building. USC is gone. It's done deal.
Oh yeah, they're gone. I didn't think that would go through.
3 times more. They went from $20 million to $60 million just for playing. LIV equals out to merge with PGA.
Yeah, they're gonna merge. And I did read something. Some of the PGA golfers aren't.
Yeah, Roy McIlroy.
Yeah, especially Roy. He's like, we're gonna let these guys just come back.
He's kind of
big
whiny.
buddy. Woo! Yeah, good to have you back.
He's kind of whiny though, is he not?
But I found out something, and you're going. Yeah, now they say
he kind of is.
You're going. I did not know this. The PGA does not pay for okay, me and you's going to play in the Masters. We're great golfers. We got to pay for our room and everything.
What? Yeah. All the money they make on that?
Yes.
No.
That's why these guys left. So I understand what Roy's saying. We're going to be loyal to the PGA because they gave us a live. But then you find out something like that, you got to get your own plane ticket. And if you don't make the cut, you got to go home. And sometimes it's cut 6 under. I shot 6 under. You're not in the top 70. We'll see you. I spent $3,000 coming out here.
Oh, well.
I didn't know all that.
Better luck next time.
It's the only sport that you compete in where you get cut after you start playing. That's what somebody told me that day. And you think about it, you kind of do. I mean, you don't go play. Alabama and Georgia don't play 2 quarters and decide, well, Alabama's not really in this game. They got to go home. Got to pay for your stuff, though. I mean, I did not realize. I thought they paid for everything.
That's unfortunate. Oklahoma lost to Baylor on February 19th.
But you imagine, I just thought they paid for their – I figured they had a stipend. Is that what that's called?
I would assume why? How do you pay for you? Dude, how much money? You know how much money they make, the PGA?
Yeah.
A lot. Millions.
I guess they're like, well, we pay y'all enough. You pay your own way out here.
Hundreds of millions of dollars that they make.
No, they pay for them motel – and, them motel rooms ain't cheap.
So
it's $500 a night.
Is this a good move then?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I don't want to fool with that LIV crap. I mean, it wasn't even on TV. PGA's not going anywhere. But I think some of the problems were just how will these guys be appreciated back? Are they just going to be able to walk back in? I think it's good. Jeff, what you think about the merger?
He hates golf.
I don't like 2 different leagues.
Well, here's the thing.
Not golf leagues.
That's what capitalism does, guys. This is a perfect example of somebody else. When you got whatever you're doing, you think you're the only one doing it, and then somebody else comes along and starts doing it and does it a little bit better, then you have to check and go, oh, maybe I need to check up and get a little better.
Well, they got to get in with these Saudis. These Saudis got so much money, man.
But see, now you got politicians complaining about this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you joking? All the money and how long has these politicians in D.C. been in bed with the Saudis?
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
I believe probably since when I was born in '77 with Jimmy Carter and that garbage he went through with Iran.
Yeah, they were like
and so many and all.
There was some complaining. Really, we're going to get on board and merge with them?
But don't
act. Yeah, because we always have. Don't act like we
don't. Are you joking? I'm not going to get in a history lesson, but pull up your little snuggles there.
Snuggles.
Young guys, if you're 40 or younger, you don't know. A guy named Oliver North goes to Congress and goes on trial, and he told him about a guy named Osama bin Laden. Actually, we were furnishing tanks for them to fight Russia. Wait a minute, Matt. What did you just say? I just said United States was giving tanks to Osama bin Laden, wasn't we? Mm-hmm. And didn't Oliver North say, "You better watch this guy"? And sure enough, 30 years later,
yeah. But Oliver North was
we're going, this is ridiculous. Bed with the Saudis.
Yeah, somebody's like, I don't even want to hear that. You're in bed with them all the time. So this is just golf. We're in bed with them over serious stuff.
It's no different than us getting paid off to buy oil from them. Because when we had another person in charge of the country, we were independent from oil. Well, now we got this clown show running it now. Now we're not. Now we're buying oil from them. Because we get paid off. Because guess who gets a kickback on that money? And guess where, from Ukraine and all that stuff's going on, guess who got a check, a big fat check? The guy you call Prezzo got a check. And we even got factual documents on it. Why is he not in jail? For treason.
I had somebody this past week tell me that Biden was doing a good job.
I don't even listen to people. You just walk on. So God bless you, man. I hope you have a good day.
I said, I never heard that, but okay.
No, it's not.
They didn't give me no facts to back it
up. There's none. You can't. He's to be in jail. They all need to be in prison. All of them. I mean, lock, stock, barrel from top to bottom.
Right.
No RD next to your name. Well, I like to see people like maybe mayors or governors. They need to go to Washington and run this country. Mm-hmm. People that are in touch with people. They're on the streets and know what people want. That would be. Yeah. That's how we started this thing. And then it got so big into pork barrel money and earmarking money, and I'll be your buddy. How you vote for me? I'll make sure your Uncle Roger gets that deal down there with a wagon wheel, so he gets all the wagon wheel fixes. You vote, make sure all your company. It's got too corrupt for the past 100 years. We need to change it. And there ain't nobody really running that really.
I was hoping DeSantis would come on, but heck, I looked on the thing and Trump's higher in the ratings. Why?
Because he done what he done before. It was successful. People don't like it, but the country was in financially better position.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, he seems like he's half senile. Well, of course, Biden seems like he's completely senile. I mean, they do. They both do. They're both senile. I don't want either one of them in charge of the country.
Some younger people.
DeSantis is 44 years old, man. What are you talking about? Trump's got a higher rating. It's stupid.
Well, that's the people. That's what they want because it's so bad.
Maybe he'll be his vice president.
That'll never happen. He's too big ego. Trump is. He'll never be nobody's vice.
No, maybe DeSantis will be.
No. They're both too narcissistic. That ain't gonna work.
Let's put the 80-year-old in there.
Yeah, the 84.
Well, Trump will be 80 by the time.
Yeah, there's got to be something better that we can do. But as far as the choices, that's the best choice we got.
Yeah.
Because we can vote for whoever we want to.
Right.
It may be a wasted vote, like I wrote in Bo Martin one year.
What if he got it? Yeah. He'd been mad at you.
He did.
Dog it.
Matt, what are you doing?
I'm going to have to step down.
I got to leave the city council, say the love to go be president of the United States.
I wrote in Manny one time. He didn't. I mean, just because I didn't know what to put. I just put in a bunch of friends' names. Probably put yours in on about 6 different things.
There's nobody. It's been that way for 40 years, I think. 35 years. We've been in mess since when you get a president that gets shot on live TV. That started a lot of it.
Yeah.
That changes things. And then you find out later unclassified that the government was part of it. Oh, we forgot to tell you that.
110%.
And then they declassify it and you read it now. Now you know what we already knew. What Daddy told me, 30 years ago. So Colorado, Arizona. Now, what about Miami Heat? Look, they're not going to win this thing. Well, I mean, they're just not going to. But we had a conversation here the other night.
Where'd they come from?
Where's this number 8 team just bam show up and they give them trouble? I mean,
Oh yeah. I mean, they've had to play. I think they just got a great coach. I think Butler's fantastic. The only thing I can figure, and I really can't find the statistics to back it up, but I think there may be some load management going on during the season, maybe finding each other, 5.
Yeah.
And just, it took them to the end to do it.
Whoever there could maybe had to figure each other out too a little bit.
Yeah. It's just a weird case. Weirdest case I've ever saw.
Hey, he's been a baller.
Oh, he's good.
It's going to be interesting.
Caleb Martin's come on.
Who's going to play next weekend in the U.S. Open? I did run past that. Something about the U.S. Open. I'll look into that. Go ahead.
But I mean, that's it. I just think it took them a while, and they just peaked at the right time. And maybe the East wasn't as great as
that hadn't been
we thought
in a while. The Celtics, my poor Celtics, and I done took their hat down. They're down on the bottom shelf.
Do you think they would have beat the Nuggets?
They got the talent to.
Yeah. Do you think Philadelphia would have beat the Nuggets? Because Philadelphia nearly beat Boston with Embiid and Harden. I don't think anybody would personally beat the Nuggets. They shoot too good. I'm still waiting on them to have an off night. When's their off night coming?
Dude, Joker has a 30-20 game, which put him at 2, which over 1 above Hakeem and Wilt Chamberlain. Guys, the 2 greatest big men besides Shaq. In my lifetime, Shaq's the greatest big guy I ever seen touch the floor. Period.
Pretty good.
Period. I seen Lou Alcindor. I seen Kareem play kind of toward the end of his career, so I didn't really get to catch his greatness. But I seen some of the hook shots.
Oh yeah, great shot.
Seen more of the.
And I like Tim Duncan.
Seen more baby hook from Magic. I did than Kareem. But and Wilt Chamberlain, I don't know anybody that even watched him play.
I don't know a human that watched him.
So I mean, Joker's got 2 in the finals, 30-20 game. 30-20?
We'll see what's going on now. You got him and Murray. That's great. Now they've got a third player that's come on and playing his best ball of the year. Gordon.
He's had a good year.
27 points the other night. Murray and Jokic didn't even have to score, but 38 of their 108.
They'll walk up.
I just don't think they're going to get beat. Okay, can Miami go to Denver tomorrow night and win?
Yeah, I would assume so.
But do you think they will?
Yes.
Do you think Miami will beat them?
Oh, no.
No, that's what I said. Miami. Do you think Miami will beat Denver?
No, they won't.
In Denver.
I wouldn't assume that, no.
No, I think it'll be over tomorrow night. But I do think Miami will put up a fight. Greatest 8 seed ever, no doubt, right?
Yes. I'm just surprised that They were number 8.
Number 8.
I mean, well, and I think too that somehow the Lakers kind of got in some of their great situations. They load managed. When you got a guy that hadn't played,
they load managed. The Lakers did a lot.
So
they were very good.
They're
the Lakers
fresh.
Were good. Yeah.
They hit the ground running.
Plus, they had that trade there at the end. And I'll give them their GM credit. That was the right thing to do. Lakers had a good team. But they did miss a lot. LeBron missed a lot of games, didn't he? He missed 25.
Yeah, not
Davis
too
missed
terribly.
25.
I'm trying to figure out something about this Open.
Oh, what?
Los Angeles Club, Country Club, North Course, which opened 1928. The U.S. Open. Like who's?
Well, that's next week, isn't it?
123rd U.S. Open fact sheet. I was trying to figure out who's going to be in it. Right there's your viewing schedule.
Oh, well, everybody will be in it. I mean, what's he mean? Who's going to be in it?
Yeah, who's not going to make it?
Oh,
Thursday the 15th. Okay, we're looking
that
at
golf is. I mean, it's just crazy.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? I mean, John Rahm's leading the point. He may not make the cut. Golf's a tough sport. Guys go out and shoot a 75 one day and an 85 the next. Well, I have no idea. I'm sure the favorites are Rahm, McIlroy, Brooks, Koepka. You like Koepka?
Yes, I do.
Dustin Johnson.
Seems like he plays the game the right way. He's got a good attitude about himself.
I don't think Tiger Woods. I mean, he'll try.
Who was the one just won it? We watched at the.
That was Rahm.
Yeah, I like
That
him.
was John Rahm.
No, Kaepernick. He's the one kind of whiny. He was kind of being PO'd about.
And you got McIlroy, and I mean, there's
Tiger's done though. He's not going.
Patrick Rogers. Patrick Reed.
I don't see Tiger being he just can't.
No, and he'll compete.
Yeah, he just.
But
Can't.
I don't think. And they create a hard course there. I mean, they create a lot of.
I read it was in LA. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
1928, the course was.
one year it was so hard that the winner, Matt, shot 1 under for 4 days. That's how hard. No, 2 under.
It's like 8:40 a.m. on Peacock or 12 o'clock on USA, June the 15th.
June the 15th. No.
So there's some news on that. Guys, we have run from.
Rahm's going to be the favorite, though.
We've run from John Rahm. Oh, I like him.
Yeah, he's got to be. He's leading everything.
We've run from smoky skies of New York to Zion to our presidential candidates to Michael Vick's Hall of Fame. Maybe we said no. NIL regulations to Oklahoma girls. Congratulations to them. Colorado and Arizona probably going to move. Man, I think we've covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we have.
What about transfer impacts? USC number 1, wide receiver.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I read he was number 1.
Zach Branch. Running back, Marshawn Lynch. No.
Marshawn. Is that Marshawn's boy?
Yes, lowered it from South Carolina.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great addition. And Georgia's losing some players.
Yeah, they did. They lost Baird, didn't they?
Yeah, he's at USC. And then another wide receiver, Dorian Singer from Arizona State.
I heard he was very good.
Very good. Put a star by his name. The USC's going to.
Dorian Singer, yes.
They're going to
star by that.
They're going to.
I'm going to put that on this page.
They're going to fly high this year. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be good.
The U, offensive tackle Francis Maega, offensive guard Javon Cohen from Bama. It's a Cohen kid, left Bama.
That'll be good.
It's a
That's
good
good
addition
for Miami. Yeah,
it's good for Coach Cristobal. He's a Alabama line coach at one time.
He started for Alabama.
Played at Miami. Francisco, the Mayor guy from Washington State, I just mentioned. Florida State wide receiver Keon Coleman.
That's a big one.
Big.
Cornerback
Fentrell Sirius from Virginia. Offensive lineman Jeremiah Byers from UTEP. Tight end Jeremiah Bell, another guy from South Carolina. Defensive lineman Brandon Fisk from Western Michigan. LSU Tigers cornerback Denver Harris from A&M star. Put a star by him. Harris. He's going to be at LSU.
He's going to be their main.
Big-time player. Zay Alexander from Southeast Louisiana. Defensive lineman Mason Lawford from Maryland. Cornerback star Deuce Chestnut cornerback, LSU.
Chest sounds like somebody from Yellsville. Chestnut.
Yeah. Oh, so Derek and Kevin.
Derek, Kevin. Yeah.
I seen him the other day. He come over.
Yeah, they were good. I saw Kevin. He's a good football player.
Keelan Jackson, put a star by that. He's going to be he should be on the LSU freshman impact list.
Yes. He was one of them. Yes.
Colorado, Miles Slusher from Arkansas, the Slusher kid.
Mm-hmm.
Be a good safety for Deion Sanders of Colorado. Wide receiver, elite. I like this Horn kid from South Florida. I keep up with Colorado's move and who they're getting. Running back Dylan Edwards, super big time elite player. 5 wins in the last 2 years. 6,000 yards, 70 touchdowns for Shador Sanders. Will be your quarterback. Came from Jackson State.
Wow.
Cornerback Corman McClain. This is at Colorado.
Do you think I'm stopping you for just a second? Do you think he's going to have a hard time adjusting? I mean, they act like he's not, but he played at Jackson State last year. Colorado's not Jackson State.
I think
not taking nothing away from Jackson State. It's just different.
It is, and playing TCU game 1 is going to be different. But these kids, man, Dean, you got to realize these kids go to all these camps and they play so much. It's not like it was in the 90s.
Right.
Kids are ready. I think he's going to do fine. They're going to win 4
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we predict 4-8, 5-7 at best.
They win 5 games, and they got some guys now. Let me tell you, Colorado's not garbage. They're not going to win just one game.
No.
I'll hang my hat on that one.
No, I don't think so. I know he's got some dudes, but
they don't have depth.
Is there a chance he's not their quarterback?
No, absolutely not. There's no
110%.
But when you look at the team he has now compared to what he had in spring, size-wise, they're bigger now. They look like they got shoulders. They look like football players. They're going to be okay, and they're not going to win them out. They're not going to win the Pac-12.
No. They think make a bowl this year, but they will soon, I'm sure.
Speaking of Pac-12, Oregon, Jordan Brunch, another South Carolina guy. He's an offensive guy. Junior Ajalou, another guy. Here's a star next to this guy. Linebacker Justin Jacobs from Iowa.
He's big time.
He's a linebacker from Iowa.
Yeah.
So you can imagine. Now, this is at Oregon. Linebacker from Oregon. Okay. Mayotu Ugalati, defensive end.
There you go with the names again.
Defensive end, Oregon. Tristan Holden from Bama.
He always gets that.
Holden.
I like that. I think he'll help them. That's a good one.
He's going to do a good job.
He was a good receiver.
Offensive lineman Azuna Coronales. Defensive end Birch is back for him at defensive end. And the cornerback, Cole Martin. He's kind of small, 5'10", 175, but he's going to get in there and work. Oklahoma Sooners, linebacker Dawson McCullough, Indiana. Defensive tackle Walker Rouse, Stanford. Defensive lineman Randall Bothroyd from Wake Forest. Defensive back Peyton Boa.
I heard Oklahoma did well in that.
They did. And Auburn Tigers. As of this week, Avery Jones, Eastern Carolina, going to be offensive lineman. Another offensive lineman, Dylan Wade, Tulsa. This kid from Tulsa is not regular, okay? It's not normal. His name's Dylan Wade, Auburn Tigers. And, of course, we know about Thrawn coming from Michigan State. They recruited number 21 in recruiting this year, running back Brian Beatty from South Florida. Keep an eye on this kid. He's a speedy guy. Cornerback Keon Lee, offensive lineman, is the biggest need, says Hugh Freeze. And Keldrick Falk, 6'5", 270 from Highland Home, Alabama.
Wow. We've heard a lot about Highland Home the last few years.
Defensive lineman. And the center, Connor Law, is from Miami. And then, of course, Jeremiah Cobb from Montgomery Catholic.
Yeah. He was their running back. Yeah. 1,900 yards.
He was great. Jeremiah Cobb, shout out Montgomery Catholic. They're just 2 hours down the road from us. So, Montgomery Catholic and Highland Home, you got Falk and Cobb on scene. Highland Home and Montgomery Catholic, 2 big-time, 4 or 5A
You heard any more talk?
programs.
Anything else about Hunter?
Who?
Running back for Auburn.
No.
Got in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay, I hadn't heard anything either.
UCLA, the number one guy in your hearts, it's going to be Dante Moore, your quarterback. He's going to talk about him.
Yeah.
I did a big special on him. You can go back about probably about 2 months ago. I did a whole
10
minute spell on him.
Well, I'll let you know something here in a minute.
Carson Steele, running back, UCLA, and JaMichael Sturdivant. He's from Cal, wide receiver. Louisville. Now, Louisville won that recruiting, number 32. You just spot on them about 2 weeks ago.
Gonna be better.
Thrash at wide receiver. Storm Duke at cornerback. Star on his name. This guy's Storm
Gonna
Duke.
be good.
Okay, Storm Duke. I mean, he sounds like I'm
gonna look. See, I'm gonna go. I like going back and looking this stuff up later.
Storm Duke at Louisville. Another defensive end, Kevin Coleman at wide receiver. Now, these guys are from Jackson State at Louisville. Defensive end, the Marquise Groves from Kilberry. Defensive end, Marquise Washington, Georgia. Quarterback, Brad Allen. Defensive end, Green. All these guys are going to be moving up here to play for Louisville.
I think Louisville's going to be better.
The Coleman,
I don't think they're going to win the big.
This Coleman kid came from Jackson State.
Coleman.
Yeah, Kevin Coleman. It's going to be
Kevin Coleman.
And 11 through 20, Ole Miss, TCU, Arkansas, Kent State, Kentucky, Michigan, Tennessee at 16, Florida 17, Wisconsin 18. 19 is Maryland. And 20, this is finishing out transfer impacts on teams. Number 20, Arizona State. Quarterback from Notre Dame, Drew Payne. And their wide receiver, Goldsby, and their running back, Kim, Skatteb.
Oh, my God. I can't. Skatteb?
He's from Sacramento State. And a defensive back, ex-Alford. He's from USC, transferred out to Arizona State. They recruited 46 ranked class recruiting, which is not bad out of 100 and something schools, I guess.
Wow. So you're giving number 1 to USC, right? On that, yeah.
USC, Miami, FSU 3, LSU 4, and Colorado 5.
Now, I did hear, go back to USC for just a second. I've heard Barry Alexander's great, and I've been hearing, I read some good stuff about this guy.
Well,
singer.
And you see, we did Arizona State was last.
Right.
Okay, 20. And they picked up some defensive guys, but this guy, Hora, is a receiver they picked up, and they let this singer guy they didn't get away. I guess, the Southern California sun is beautiful and the girls are beautiful. So,
well, they said that they're loaded at receiver, absolutely loaded. They got Jerry Rice's son and 2 other guys back, and they said Singer will start.
Yes, he's got.
Will start.
Dude, you got a Heisman winning quarterback. You got a Heisman winning quarterback out at USC. We just laid out these impact players.
All right, man. Quickly, I'm just going over the Super 7. This is impact freshmen that will start, and
it's going to make a difference.
Make a difference immediately. Okay, now this one has a stipulation. It's got an asterisk beside it. Number 7, Arch Manning, Texas. And you know what that asterisk is.
He's not going to start.
He's not going to start.
No.
But if viewers goes down, it's something, and the injury's part of sports.
He didn't look good to me in the spring game.
Okay, he's number 7.
He didn't look good in the spring game.
Really?
No.
I don't think he'll beat Ewers out.
No, he won't.
But Ewers could go down.
Because he didn't play in a very competitive high school league.
Right.
Manning didn't.
All right, number 6, you mentioned him, Kylan Jackson, LSU. I think he'll start immediately in their secondary. Kind of be like that guy they had a few years ago, like the Honey Badger and that Derek Stingley. You remember Stingley that was so good? I think he'll make an impact immediately. All right, let me see here. Oh, number 5, Reuben Owens, Texas A&M. He's going to be the guy that replaced Cheney. You remember how good Devin Achane was, right? Beat Alabama one time.
Thank you, Jerry. We appreciate it. We love you, too. Good to see you on here.
So, Reuben Owens, is he going to start at Texas A&M? They're looking for him to start and replace Devin Achane.
Yeah.
He's number 5. Number 4, they say this is the greatest athlete in all of college football as far as incoming freshman Nicholas Harbor. Guess where he's going, Matt? South Carolina. Nicholas Harbor will start immediately. Wide receiver. Keep an eye on him. Number 3, we saw him play for Mill Creek, Caleb Downs, University of Alabama. Already added to a stacked secondary, which includes Kool-Aid McKinstry.
He's good, man.
Malachi Moore and Terry and Arnold, Caleb Downs, they say he'll be one of those 4.
Pope played some back there in the A-Day game. He may get a little time, but those guys, look, Bama, it's going to be a hard day to score on Alabama.
I think Downs is going to start immediately. Because Mill Creek won the state championship.
What's up, Short?
They beat Carrollton 70-33.
Coach Short.
Yeah. And so I think he'll definitely start and be an impact
I
player.
appreciate you. Thank you, sir.
I think he'll start all year for Alabama. You think he'll start right the first game?
Who? Downs?
I don't think he'll start the first game.
I think he's a dude.
He's going to be like Minka Fitzpatrick. Guys, he's going to be like Minka Fitzpatrick.
Man.
Or Jordan Battle, some of these guys. He's going to start immediately.
I think he's better than them.
Number 2, Ole Miss linebacker. Number 1 linebacker in the country. I got a name here for you. Suntarine. I don't even know if I'm saying that. Suntarine Perkins, linebacker, will start immediately. They say he will improve that Ole Miss defense. They also got a good transfer. He is the number 1 ranked linebacker
And they got a
in the country.
pretty good tailback from Pike Road.
Yeah, Quinshon Junkins. Yeah.
Out of Alabama, man, how did he?
I don't know.
You know, Bo said he's seen him at that game, at the state game when they were playing. Now he can't go down and talk to him because whatever. But
he wanted to.
But Kiffin was there. He was watching them play, and he knew something. You know,
Best running back in the SEC, probably.
Yes.
And the number 1 freshman in the country incoming that will make an immediate impact. Matt has mentioned this several times. Dante Moore, UCLA, will start at quarterback. Tis to lose. He may lose it.
The thing is, see, the only rebuttal that anybody can make to that.
Mm-hmm.
I've studied him now. I did. I watched his Elite 11. Milton at Tennessee's backup. Nico played out there.
I just don't think he's going to start over Milton.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I see Dante's going to start and play at UCLA.
Right.
And with Coach Kelly running that show,
right off the bat.
With Chip running that deal, used to at the Golden Bears, look for UCLA. They're not listen, what's sad about what we just got into a while ago, the depth of California as a state, and we got into some politics, why I don't know. They got some good football out there this year, man.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of disheartening as a fan to see that part of the country just falling off the map. People are running out of there, lock, stock, and barrel.
Football.
The actors running, leaving Hollywood. And I give the history lesson about, if you missed that one, about Edison. It's when movie film started in New Jersey. Now I went to Hollywood in the 30s. It's just, dude, every quarterback at the school out there is a 5-star.
Oh, yeah.
Heisman talk, rambling. You could ramble that. Not DJ Uigadudu's not. I don't think he is.
Nah, he may be at Oregon State.
I don't see it.
So you got him. You got
Bo Nix and Cam Rising at Utah and Penix at Washington State. And Washington State's not. They've got a bad mess. Stanford's in a bad mess. And then Caleb Williams, he's back.
Caleb Williams back.
And then this Moore kid at UCLA. I mean, I just named 5 quarterbacks, and they all play in the Pac-12. Who can we name out here that's going to be in a mention for a Heisman as a quarterback? JT Daniels?
No.
At LSU?
Yeah, Jalen. Yes. Yeah.
JT. Jalen at Daniels at LSU?
Yes, definitely. He's going to be him and Jefferson are going to be the top 2. Jefferson's going to be number 1. Daniels.
See, he fell out, but see, he was hurt, though.
Rattler's going to be.
What's up, Mason?
You think Rattler's going to be top 5 in the SEC?
He's just not.
See, Alabama don't have a quarterback. Kentucky does. They've got Drew Leary from Devin Leary from North Carolina State. Hey, I can't wait till we do that. Top quarterback rankings, SEC 1 through 12.
I don't know how
or 13, whatever.
This SEC is going to pair with having quarterbacks.
But I mean, who's going to be the top quarterbacks in the conference? It's got to be Jefferson and Daniels.
I mean, I just went through a list here of top, schools, and the first SEC school on here is number 8, Auburn. These are where teams are going to be impacted by transfers. Colorado's 5. UCLA, USC they were good last year. They've added key pieces to this team. Miami, they're going to be a little bit better. Florida State's going to make a run at it this year. LSU is the only one in the top 4 there making it. So LSU and Auburn are your top teams of getting in top transfers that are going to make a difference. And some names we mentioned, the freshmen are going to come in.
You got one of the top freshmen at Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU. And of course, the other ones was UCLA and Texas, but most of them within the conference. But if we have to, when it comes time for us to pick the top quarterbacks in the conference, I'm going Daniels over Jefferson because Jefferson's not going to have the players around him this time. But I don't know. I mean, we do it in ranking? I mean, we don't know who Alabama's quarterback is. We don't know who Auburn's quarterback is.
No.
We don't know who Florida's quarterback is. Just not a lot of experience at quarterback.
No. That's
Tennessee's got a new quarterback.
Yeah, he can sling it. We'll see how he turns out.
I think this old boy from Kentucky is going to be good.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's going to make them a lot better than we thought they were going to be.
This Pac-12, man, if they can play defense this year and they can get in and shake up and get in there and next year, see, the bad part is they're going to lose most of these guys, and next year's going to be the 12-team playoff. This year was 12-team playoff. The Pac-12,
they'd have to.
They're going to have to. They would have to
They would
this year.
have to.
They would have to.
This may be the best Pac-12 year we've seen in years.
And when the 12-team playoff comes, the Pac-12 is not even going to really exist because their two key dogs, USC and UCLA, are leaving and going to this team schedule right here we're fixing to look at.
I don't think we'll see it, though, because I think they'll all beat up on each other. I think Oregon will beat Utah, then Utah beat USC, then USC will beat Oregon.
This year?
I think they'll all beat up on each other.
Like the SEC usually does?
Yes. 10-2. Whoever's 10-2 will win the conference.
If they get in the playoff, all they win that conference, they can have a good
There's
shot.
Good teams in that conference.
It's bad to see what's happening out there.
I mean, we named 4.
Because
There's 5 good teams in that conference.
Just because of policies and politics, and people want to play games with kids, and they shut the whole football program out there.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't play football, kids want to play football. Guess what they're going to do? Well, I'm going somewhere. Oh, I'm going to go to the Big Ten play football.
Yeah.
Well, you lost because you want to play politics and play games with people's lives. This is what happens. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Bud Light has proved it, Target's proved it, and Cracker Barrel is doing it too.
What's going on with what's Cracker Barrel doing?
Same thing. You didn't see my Facebook in 2 or 3 days, have you?
I ain't seen nothing about Cracker Barrel. I know about the Target.
Yeah,
the satanic stuff.
I shared it yesterday. Yeah, it's just ridiculous stuff. People don't learn from let's do what they did. They lost $30 billion.
Yeah, we gotta
let's follow that.
Start honoring the devil more. I mean, come on.
Because that's what all this other stuff is. The Alphabet Mafia is that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They're a bunch of pedophiles, weirdos, sickos.
Yeah.
Big Ten football, 20 and 24 conference opponents. Take a look in your left top schedule from Illinois and Indiana, Iowa, Maryland there in the middle, Michigan. First game and the white games are there away, and the dark gray is at home. So as of next year, Dean, I mean, y'all can look at it. I want to look at the interesting team here. I'm interested in Michigan. Michigan's away is going to be Illinois, Ohio State, Rutgers. They're going to be at USC. They will travel to the beautiful state of California. And under that, they will be.
You're looking at USC. I'm sorry.
Michigan. They'll be the home games will be Maryland, Michigan State, Minnesota, UCLA, and Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
So they will. How's it going to be for UCLA to make that travel out there to Michigan?
Well, you're playing in the biggest stadium in the country. I don't think that'll fare well.
Michigan State. Let's see who are they going to have.
Look at all that traveling
at home. Illinois, Indiana, Ohio State, Purdue, Rutgers. Minnesota will play at UCLA. Minnesota will travel to the beautiful Rose Bowl in Pasadena. What a beautiful place. I've been through there. That's what really bothers me about all other stuff we're talking about. That's a great looking. I mean, I've been out there. It's a beautiful state, man. So much great scenery, and it's just being all threw away. Nebraska. Tell us about Nebraska there on the end. What do you like about them?
I like the fact that they play
at UCLA.
I like their away schedule. The home games are in white, right?
No.
No home games are away?
No, home games are home.
I know that, but which one's which?
The grays. You said the home games are away.
Oh, I mean, which one? What's the gray?
The home. It'd be the opposite of away.
Yeah. Okay.
Nebraska?
No, I think their away schedule's horrible.
Oh, see, they got to go.
Look, they got UCLA, Penn State, Iowa, and Purdue. No. How you gonna? I don't want to actually take up for Nebraska, but how would anybody expect them to rebuild
They need to go to Big 12.
with that?
They need to get out.
That's horrible, man.
They need to get out of Big 10.
Iowa, Penn State, and UCLA.
With Texas and Oklahoma leaving.
I think they need to, too.
Look down under that one. Look at Wisconsin. What do you like about this one here?
Wisconsin, I like the fact that they,
go to Nebraska, go to Michigan, go to USC.
Lord.
Now they get the host.
They do host Minnesota, their big rival, and Penn State.
And Penn State. Okay, ain't too bad.
I think that's pretty tough for them, too, man.
All right, moving left
I think
there.
Nebraska and Wisconsin got hammered.
Moving left, USC will be away. At Penn State, at UCLA.
At Penn State and UCLA. That's tough. I don't think they. Well, no, I take that back. Yeah, I think they'll be all right. They got a better deal than Wisconsin and Nebraska does.
No, USC gets to host. It's just going to be strange seeing Illinois out there in South California.
Yeah,
in the stadium. Ain't that going to be strange for regular? This is a conference game.
That's a little odd. It's just weird. I don't know.
Dean don't like change. If y'all ain't been watching this show for 193 shows, he don't like change.
No,
he likes things to stay the way that they was, and by God, and that's just stupid. And the NCAA stop it. Kids moving around, money throwing around, people moving conferences.
They could have. They had it stopped. We'd had none of this. They made them sit out a year if they transferred. They got no money. Everybody played in the area they were located in.
Willy-nilly. Everybody's everywhere now.
It's crazy. And it's chaos. Can you honestly say it's enjoyable? Come on.
Well, I mean, look at the games. I like to see USC and Michigan play for a title, for a conference championship. Is that not a good game?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's why I like it. It's a good game. There's good games. Moving left, UCLA will be at Michigan. They'll be at Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
Get used to that weather.
Yeah, but they'll be okay in Indiana and Rutgers. And look who they've got at home. They've got USC and Ohio State. They got a tough schedule. USC, Ohio State, and Michigan, Minnesota, and Iowa. That might be the toughest schedule in the country that year. Is it possible that could be the toughest schedule in the country?
Well, Dante Moore will be a sophomore that year, so we'll get to see how good he is. If he can go to Michigan and play there at the big house up there and beat Michigan next year. Up there. And now listen now, guys, here too. Now, y'all remember now, weather, well, we ain't talked about. We don't know when these games are.
No, we have no idea.
So imagine him going and, may playing in a snowy game.
What Brent's always said may come into play with these two. You remember he said, we've got a buddy that's always argues, the SEC get killed if they come up there and played. And we were like, well, you might be right, Brent, but they don't have to.
Yeah, we don't ever know.
Now USC and UCLA have to. So
yeah, we'll see.
Will that make a difference?
Let's move over to Penn State. Third from the right.
Penn State. I love their away schedule. Look at that. Oh my gosh, that's easy.
Indiana, Purdue, Rutgers, Wisconsin. That is their away. Guys, again, we're talking about the Big Ten football 2024 conference opponents. This is the addition of UCLA and USC. July the 14th, the day before Media Day. So the 16th, that Sunday, we will have this for the SEC. It will be out. Oklahoma and Texas will be on the new schedule after that. So, home games for Penn State.
Michigan State, Nebraska, Northwestern, Ohio State, USC. I say Penn State going 8-1 in conference this year, depending on what they've got back. But I see it as a possibility because their away schedule.
You got Ohio State.
Doesn't look terrible.
You get to host Ohio State and USC.
Yeah.
So you're two harder games.
You don't want to go to them.
And we're going to assume that Nebraska's, if Coach Matt's going to get better. So you're going to get them better.
They would get better. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ohio State, Jeff's his favorite team. The away. I'm sure Jeff's probably got this printed on his refrigerator. He's chomping. He just can't wait for his Buckeyes.
I will say that's easier than
to travel to UCLA there.
Would you not agree that Nebraska and Wisconsin have it a little harder than Penn State?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now you moving on to
Ohio State away. They go to UCLA. Now home, Ohio State gets to host. They just host Michigan. That's a really tough game.
Oh, gosh.
They're going to have to go to Michigan State and UCLA and Penn State.
This might be the year they win it. Well, I think that's not this coming year. That's the next year, though.
We got a tough schedule that year. And
yeah, but you got your ideal games at home.
Yeah.
You got Michigan and Iowa at home.
Yeah. Yeah. The home games.
And you go to UCLA. I mean, that could be tough. That could prove a challenge.
Well, now these days, guys, they're gonna jump on a jet and they're gonna be there in an hour and a half.
Right.
It's not like 1967. They got to get on the bus, and Coach Bryant's up there with swiping his head with a handkerchief.
They got to go
smoking Chesterfields. All right, guys, we got a 4-day drive to Rose Bowl.
If they got to go on buses, I'm gonna say this affects UCSC and UCLA pretty bad, and they don't win a game.
They'll all have private jets. They'll be out there.
I don't know how long a flight is. No, that's a good question. I'm gonna look at that.
It ain't gonna be no different than them getting on a bus and driving to Maryland.
Right. Flight from.
They'll fly from
Los Angeles to
Ohio to
Columbus.
Right. From LA to Columbus. I wouldn't think it'd be over 3 hours.
I wouldn't think it took over.
If it's more than 3, I'd be surprised. I know how long a drive it is. About to crack, I've drove it. Whew.
Oh, yeah, it's a long way to Columbus. Yeah. All right.
For 4 days.
They were 4 days. Don't tell me it. Don't tell. Yeah. 4 days. Why does it not tell?
Idiots. All idiots.
And no, it's just trying to, you know why then.
I want you to buy something.
Yeah. 8 hours, 36 minutes. No,
okay.
I don't think so.
It may be.
Ain't no way it takes that long to drive from.
Fly
from Los Angeles to Columbus. Out. Oh, wow.
Let's see. Flight time from
that was with a holdover.
LA to Columbus, Ohio. 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Okay. So you was about right the first time. See, you got it there. I didn't put flight time. I just put flight. They were talking about layovers and everything.
When is media day, Coach Short says? No.
4 hours.
No.
You leave Friday morning?
Watch a movie, catch a steak dinner on the
Friday
plane.
morning, 8 o'clock. There by noon. Practice that afternoon.
Do some walkthroughs. Yeah. Enjoy the beautiful rays of California.
Mm-hmm. Or Ohio, Columbus.
July
15th.
15th. Let me type that on there. July 15th. Media Day. Here in Cherokee County. Well, that's a big mess.
We're getting rain tonight.
Yes, sir.
100%.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I looked at some of that earlier. Let's see. We're going to do the weather before we get off here. Let's do the weather. We've done everything tonight. I don't think we've covered everything. We've talked about
movies. We ain't talking about movies.
Donald Trump to, we're under. Actually, the warm front is pushing through, and we're under severe weather for today.
Okay.
So somebody told you that it wasn't going to rain. We got actually possibilities of bad stuff.
Well, I think people just have turned to the point where they just don't believe the weatherman.
Well, all you got to do is pick up your phone, go to radar. You can look. You got to believe nobody.
Still watch the news.
Well, that's silly when you got a device in your hand that shows you the same radar the weatherman looks like.
Yeah.
Right here and right there. 9:30 tonight. Look for heavy storms. Could be some tornadic activity around 9:30. So if you have a safe place you need to be between 9 and 10 o'clock tonight, that's going to be washed out by probably about 10:30. We ought to be looking at clear skies coming again in the morning. So be prepared for some storms, 9:30 to 10:30. If you're in east Alabama, have you a safe place. They look like they could be may be some hail. So
we didn't mean to do it, but we've developed a newscast. We got sports, weather, politics, opinion.
Yeah.
I like the format.
Let's keep doing it.
Fox News, CNN. CNN. Ugh.
Him and John will be there. Well, that'd be fantastic.
Hey, can I tell you one thing
have
about
Michael
CNN?
Short and John Holder to Media Day, and Jeff Allen from WQSB, and Roy Mitchell and Shannon. Guys, y'all make sure y'all come. All teams, coaches invited. We want everybody to be there.
I gotta tell you one. I gotta get on CNN. I got to get on
Oh,
California.
we're doing news now.
One more time.
Back to news.
This is it. There was a serial killer in California.
He likes this stuff, by the way.
Now you're gonna love
If
this.
you don't know about serial killers or where they went, Green River Killer, I like it pretty well.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. He knows. He likes it.
Well, they had to beat up a guy. Knew the guy. They knew who the guy was, but they didn't have a name. The cops. So they pulled in his best friend, a girl. An informer on the street said his best friend so and so. He knows his name. The guy would not give him his name, so they used force to get the name.
And when does this happen?
1985.
Oh, so force.
But the documentary come out on it just a couple years ago.
The force is not the same force
right
now as it was then.
So they beat him up. There was an article written by a guy out in California taking up for the criminals. Said the cops were out of line. Who's the real villain?
Yeah, I think I did read something about that.
Yeah. Who's the real villain? Is it the serial killer or is it the cops? That's what you're dealing with out there. Pretty bad, isn't it?
I could go on and on. I'm not going to. That people are running out of California.
Yeah,
the rich.
That's why.
The rich,
crap like that.
That's one example of the property tax. They can't make money. They can't keep their money.
What do you have to make in California to be able to survive? How much money an hour? You got to make up in the 30s, don't you?
I would assume, yeah. The taxes out there are insane. You know, you have to pay. Now, I heard this from Mark Wahlberg. You can find it on YouTube. Go watch some stuff. Find Mark Wahlberg talking about him leaving California. He had to pay a tax for having some kind of big pot somewhere out in front of his house with a plant. He had to pay some kind of tax.
What's wrong with them? What are they doing? Are they trying to move to a communist type?
Well, that's what the whole country's trying to go to.
Yeah, socialist. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what it is, without getting into much more detail, I mean, when you have communities, like we went from one community that said they celebrate only one color, which we found out that was a lie, that they was just making money because actually they all live in big houses now because there's still deaths going on daily in places. And that party, those people group does not show up there.
No.
Okay, so we went through that part of the country, right? Now we need to make everybody's just going to be the same. Well, because the elite feel like there's a problem with the population in the world. So China decided to be what they are, a communist country. They say you can't have more than one child. So they had years on the books, you can't have more than one kid. Well, you can't do that here. But if you make everybody feel like that we're just all the same people, just kind of go together where you don't have children, then we're not overpopulating the country. Does that make sense? Make everybody think that it's just fine, and you push down Christians and tell them that what they say is all insanity and garbage. Don't have a bunch of kids, and the country's too bad, and the world don't have kids. So now what I just said is my opinion. Those are thoughts. Just because I pay attention to what's going on.
Well, do you know the Los Angeles Dodgers recognized I seen that crazy, very small anti-religious
demon nuns
group.
Yeah.
Who makes fun of religion. They're not anti-religion. They insult.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if I, take a Bible out there on the corner of the
Carpenters for Christ,
the stadium, and go and just start preaching, hey, John 3:16, hey guys, God sent His only Son. Idiot, get him out of here. Teaching that, stuffing that down our throat. And then people say, well, you just don't like it because the other side is not what you are. No, that's not it at all. I just want to have a normal world where I don't care about what anybody's sexuality is. I could care less. Cracker Barrel painting the rocking chairs rainbow colored because everybody's welcome. When was gay people not welcome at Cracker Barrel?
Always welcome.
You're always welcome.
You don't have to tell me if I'm wrong. You don't have to tell if you're straight or gay when you go in.
I don't care if you are or not.
Nobody else does either.
And at a baseball game, I can sit right next to you and watch a ball game. Hey, boy, what a shot. I seen that curse. Wow, what a play. That. Whoa, wow. Hey, man, you like guys? Yeah, I'm into guys. What? I don't care. Why does that have to do with anything? Because they're trying to control it and distract us from what really is going on, and we know what's really going on. There's no way that guy that's running the country is running the country. There's no way. He can't even walk. He can't carry a sentence. There's no way he's making decisions. There's no. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me. There's no way. What's up, Aaron?
I'm afraid we're going to get to a day, and we may not see it. But there's going to be a day when you go in a place to eat, and it's like, what do you think about this and that? And if you don't line up with it, you don't even go in.
Oh, I'm not going. I won't go back over there. They'll never give them another $1. I'll never go.
Why did they even bring that up? That's not even brought up in the Cracker Barrel world.
Why? Why is it brought up in beer world? Who cares? Because they're keeping the news full of crap because they're giving us the shaft up there in D.C. All this money that's pouring out of Ukraine, Biden's getting checks from it. We got proof. The guy had documents in his car, in his garage, secret documents. That's treason. As vice president, he got them. He's not allowed to have them. See, Trump was allowed to have these documents that he has. He could sign for them, get them as president. Biden wasn't even the president when he got these. It's treason. Don't get me started on the Clintons and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Treasonous. They're not for us. They're not for us. They're not.
I don't understand it.
Just because we're
not supposed to.
No, I do. It's real easy. They're the elite. They want to be powerful and control all the money, and all the having all the money is the power to them. My power don't come from money. My power comes from above. Because this ain't my home. They're worried about setting up a kingdom here on earth. My kingdom's already been made in heaven.
Right.
That's the problem. They don't have a repentant heart.
Understand.
They don't have any concept of Jesus and a forgiving and loving heart and what he can do for them. It's just the devil, man. Satan runs this whole planet.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Especially this country.
This planet is run by him. It's a joke. You got flags. We had a group of friends that went up north, people that we know. He said there's these flags, rainbow, all over the churches. It's wrong. It's an abomination, period. It just is. You can't be one or the other. You can't be a drunk preacher.
No.
Okay?
No, you can't.
This is the world we live in. So
you cannot. That's a good point. That's perfect. Actually, you cannot be a drunk preacher.
Well, then you can't.
But what if we start? Can we start marching against that?
Now, you're welcome to come to church. As anybody that has problems with their sexuality, you're absolutely welcome. This is exactly where you need to be because they're all falling short daily like I do.
Yeah, exactly.
It's where you need to be at. But when you knowingly, continuously go against God's laws, because let me tell you something. I did a video on this about 2 weeks ago. Hell's real, and it's going to surprise some people. Because in their mind, they just think of these, well, Jesus is just love, and he's a hippie, and he loved everybody. Jesus didn't hang out with those thugs and homosexuals and hoodlums. Well, he hung out with them kind of people. No, he didn't. Those people hung around him because they were thirsty for the word of God. That's why they hung around him. He didn't hang around them. He just went through towns preaching God's word, and he dusted off his feet and he go to the next one. Somebody don't listen, you just got to move on to the next town. And that's what we have to do. Instead of me preaching on here to people that are all these people, godly people that listen to the show mostly.
It's like a girl I knew from Rome that used to go preach in the bars, but she got drunk while she's in there too. You see what I'm saying? That's the same thing you're talking about. I mean, it is.
You're welcome to be there, and we all need prayer. But
But like you were saying, Jesus didn't hang out with them. They hung out around him.
Because they were thirsty because he was Jesus
Christ. She used that as an excuse to go in there.
Well, hey, man, look, everybody's got to answer for themselves. And when we get in line on that day, I'm not going to have to stand next to some guy that has a rainbow flag. It's actually a disgrace that was always originally intended to say that it's a sign between God and his people. He wouldn't destroy the earth by fire again, right? By water again, right?
Right.
And we're using that because we just love. If you're a Christian, you love Christ, follow his rules, follow his laws. Stop making excuses, period. And you do need to be there at church. I need to pray every day, and I do, and study. And you'll see a repentant heart. You'll see I'm living wrong.
Oh, yeah,
you can't be married in God's eyes. Two people the same can't be married. And a man will never have a child. And that magazine cover I put up the other day, it's a disgrace. It's a mockery of Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. It's a woman with her breast cut off, and she's pregnant, but she's a man. She identifies. I don't care if you identify as a pink polka dotted sweater. You're still a woman. because your chromosome said so, because that's why my God made you.
Yeah, it's getting bad.
Well, how does a cat
All that
identify?
identifying.
I just don't care.
I can't even. I put up a joke the other day about a good-looking softball coach, and somebody come over there and said, "Was that a man?" I'm like, "Dude, that don't even have nothing to do with it. She's a good-looking softball coach. Now everybody wants to play softball, and it got into the dang transgender stuff. So I don't want to talk about it.
Alphabet Mafia. Don't let them take over your heart. Y'all have a good week. Thank you for coming by. Matt and Todd news broadcast, weather, politics, and sports. Get it right here. Y'all have a good week. And keep your heads clear and your hearts full of God as always.